Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Inclusion Coach. My name is Rebecca, and I will be your inclusion coach. How did you get on with the challenge that I set to you last week to follow 5 different voices to expand your worldview? I wanted to follow people who speak a different native language to me. So I have followed a Japanese and a Russian chief executive, a Nigerian people director, a Pakistani marriage bureau, and a Ukrainian political consultant. I'm really looking forward to following their posts and seeing what they talk about and how it's different to my world. This week, I'm going to be talking about our human need to be right. The foundation of inclusive thinking is the ability to see things from different perspectives. But when we're wired to want to be right, it can be hard to do that. Being right is tied up with our self-esteem. We're taught from an early age that being wrong is bad and being right is good. Whereas in fact, being wrong is an opportunity to learn and expand our knowledge. But as we go through our life, as we go through our education and we grow up and we become parents and managers, leaders, or self-employed consultants, all of those roles involve a need to be right in order to stamp our authority. As a manager or a leader, you might be thinking, well, I'm paid to make decisions. I'm paid for my experience. I'm paid to be right. And as a consultant, you'd be thinking, I'm being paid for my expertise. I need to be confident about my position. I need to put across that what I think and what my opinions are right. And as a parent, we're there to teach our children the difference between right and wrong. Well, today we're going to talk about moving from I'm right to here's how I see it. How about you? The 5th habit in Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is seek first to understand and then be understood. And for those of us who want to develop a more inclusive mindset, that's where we need to be coming from. And sometimes you do have to be right. As a parent waiting to cross a busy road with a lively 3-year-old, you're not going to say, I think that if you run into the road, you might get run over by that lorry. How do you see it? You have to, no, stand there, wait, I'm right. The context that we're talking about today is around opinions, facts, and alternative facts, different ways of seeing the world and experiencing the world. So this week's challenge is perspective taking. Recognizing that the way we see the world is just one way of seeing it. Perspective taking is when you are able to put yourself in the shoes of another person. If you've followed Stephen Covey's advice and you've sought first to understand before trying to be understood yourself, you should be able to explain their perspective back to that person as well as they can explain it themselves. However, perspective taking is much harder when you have never experienced things like racism, sexism, homophobia. You don't know how it feels to be neurodiverse. And that's why as a community, we are choosing to educate ourselves. So here's your challenge for the week. Notice when you disagree with someone, either in conversation or on something you've read on social media. Just reflect for a moment and think, what makes me so sure that I'm right about this? Do I really need the person I'm talking to agree that I'm right? How about I try seeking first to understand and then be understood? Or maybe just seeking to understand and not feeling like we need the other person to see it our way. You may have seen the conversation on social media a couple of years ago where it was seen by some people as blue and black and by others as white and gold. This wasn't about right or wrong, it was what people were seeing. And you may have seen pictures of optical illusions like this one. Some people see a young woman here and some see an old one. And sometimes it can take some explaining to be able to see it from a different perspective. My challenge is to stop needing to be right with my mum. I live with my mum, I care for her. She has Parkinson's disease and she sometimes gets confused. So when she says something that makes sense to her and not to me, I have to stop myself from going, no, that's not right. So that's my challenge for myself for the week. I'm putting a link to a great article about the need to be right in the comments. And if you haven't come across the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, I highly recommend it. It's a great read and it's a great foundation for inclusive thinking. So good luck with this week's challenge. As always, if you've enjoyed this, please subscribe and do share with any friends that you think might be interested in joining our inclusion community. That's it for now. I'll see you next time.